Good morning, my lovelies. Oh, I have got a terrible cold, so I do apologise. So you're going to be hearing me sniffing and a snorting and doing all sorts of terrible things. Anyway, let's get down to business with Captain Blue, your old chum. So, as you can see here, okay, this is my island, my own personal video game project that I am working on, okay? And one of the things that I was discussing with my first mate and lovely wife was, you know, the realism of the place. And the thing is that when it comes down to it, if we look at, for example, this, okay, it doesn't have any moss growing on it. Now, if I was to pull out this one, should be able to load it straight up. There we go. I'll just compile the shaders quickly, and you will see that it has moss growing upon it. There we go. Now, well, actually what this has got more than anything is an awful lot of shiny material sitting upon it. Hang on a second, I'll just get the moss one. That's this here, this material instance, and I shall stick it on there. There we go. Should be this one. I tell you what, this is going to be awkward, isn't it? Hang fire. I'll do it with this one. Right, so here's our material, okay, and here is our moss. Right, so you can see we've got all this lovely moss going on here, okay, it looks a bit more realistic. Now, how did I do that, you may be asking? What witchcraft did I use? Well, just one moment, I'll just move the old plain material back to it again. There we go, and save it. I shall show you how it's done, okay? So what you need to do is you need two materials for this to work. You need your basic material, which in my case is the rock, and you need the encroaching material, which in the second case would be the moss, or the snow, or the rain, or the skulls, you know, depending on what you want. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to go to my Megascans folder, because I've got a few things here that I can possibly use. And let's see, I should have a nice rock in here I can use as an example. Here we are. So this is Icelandic rock assembly, which you can get for free in the marketplace. And as you see, we've got all this, okay, lovely rock and stuff. It's not doing much. And with it, we've got its four textures: the albedo, the displacement, the normal, and the roughness. Now, we haven't got any moss in here, but that's okay. Not to worry, we'll come to the moss in a minute. Okay, now, this is some slightly more advanced than we've been doing stuff, okay, because we're going to be learning how to do some blended layers. So, normally when you make a material, all we do is right click, we make a material, and then we'd start throwing things into it. We don't get that option here. Now, I've already got some, okay, that are pre-made anyway, so I'll just go back to that. If I go to, for example, my Icelandic rock spire, okay, we can see I've already prepared some materials, including this, which is a function material just here, even if it doesn't appear to show very much. There we go. Now, what I need to do is I need to build something rather similar to this, okay, using make material attributes. So, what I'm going to do is go in here, and I'm going to go to materials and textures, and I'm going to make a material function, okay, and then for its name, I'm going to use TPD seed sa. That's the name of it, TPD seed underscore, and then I'm going to call it, let me see, well, it's a function, isn't it? So funcmat. That way I'll know what it is. This is our function material. Now, what we need to do is create a make material attribute. Okay, I always, you know, keep loads of these in my project, so if I just double click on it, straight away you'll see we're missing function output result. That's okay, right click, and I'm going to type make material, and there it is, make material attributes. And now I'm just going to pipe this into that. Okay, and then I can start putting together my material. So here's my albedo map, which I'm going to plumb straight into my base colour. And then here is my roughness map, which I'm sure you can guess I'm going to plumb straight into my roughness. And then here's my normal map, which I'm going to put straight in my normal. Okay, so we've got 3 base materials here, and you can see the preview of it. Okay, this is our rock. Don't worry about the blurring there, it's because this is mapped, so these are areas that basically don't have much information on them. Sorry about my sniffy nose, by the way. Right, now, my second monitor be playing up, by the way, so please bear with me. Come on, computer, there we go. Now then, I think I need a bigger power unit, to be honest. I might have to get one. Now, what about this displacement material? Well, if I go down here and type WS ver, okay, we get vertex normal WS. Now, with this, what I want to do is I want to multiply it. So I'm going to put in, I'm going to press 1 and click here, okay, and we get this, which is a material expression constant thing. And if I want to right click, convert to parameter, okay, and I'm going to call this one displacement. And I'm going to set its default value to 10. Then over here I'm going to press M and click, and that'll give me a multiplier. I'm going to feed the 2 together. Now, I'm going to get my displacement map just here. Okay, and I'm going to feed this into a second multiplier. So this one goes into B, and this one goes into B. So now, what it's going to do is it's going to multiply the vertex normals of the model, okay, by the amount of displacement here, taking into account this texture sample, which is multiplied by the original amount. Don't worry if you don't understand it, you just need to do it, okay? It's like in maths when they teach you why is 1 add 1, 2. Someone actually wrote a book to explain why 1 add 1 is 2, and it's enormous. It's like a massive mathematical piece. So you don't always need to understand why something's doing something, you just need to know that's how it does it. Okay, so we now need to control the tessellation, so I'm going to call another one of these material expression constants, and I'm going to right click, convert it to a parameter, and call it tessellation. Okay, and for the default value I normally put about 16. And then you look over here, I plug the last one in displacement, I want to plug this one into tessellation, which is just underneath it. There we go. There. And plop. Easy as peasy can be. Okay, so this will do a quick update. You won't notice much difference on here, but you will when it comes to the model. Okay, so that is literally everything, and I'm just going to stick a comment box around this. This is for my benefit and your benefit, and hit C. Okay, and this is our displacement controls. Okay? I think there's only one L in controls. Just to show what a buffoon I am. There we are. Controls. And over here, this is our base material. So, and then this is a magic bit here. So we'll call that magic bit. Right. So now I'm just going to save that, like so. Okay. Done. Now, I've already got one of these for moss, okay? I don't want you to feel like I'm cheating, even though technically I am a little bit, but I already have one of these set aside for moss. So if I go to, I think it's my, I should have some materials in here, the lighthouse, blah 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 blah. Here we are, material, moss on rock. Where did I put it? I will turn that down. Oh, that's my recording tool, blimey. Right, here it is here. I was being stupid, it was just literally in my mossy rock area. Okay, so we're going to do this again. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to Control C and just copy this lot, okay? And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to make a material and texture, material function, mossy rock funk. Okay, just so I know what it is. Then load up. And as you saw, I just copied everything, so I've just pasted it back in. There we go. Now, obviously some of these are incorrect, so let's take that. Yep, and I'll plug this one in instead. And then I'm going to get rid of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, because obviously these are the ones from last time. And instead I'm going to put 1. I do like to arrange them neatly if possible. And my roughness. You'll notice I've got ambient occlusion there, because when I was importing it, I forgot to untick the ambient occlusion. So I very rarely bring that in. I mean, you can if you want. These are 8K textures as well. Now there's a reason for that. I've got 8K textures because some of the rocks I'm using in my own project are enormous. I mean, absolutely colossal. So I've used that because it saves me having to tile them in some instances. Okay, I'm still tiling some when they're really, really colossal, but if you don't need them that big, make them 2K, you know? If you want, you can make them smaller than that, but they'll start to blur like crazy, so be very careful. Right, there we go. So, save. Okay, and that's our mossy rock function built. Isn't that lovely? You can see all our moss there, all chunky and good. Okay, now we've got our 2 bases. Okay, so that's our TP Cedar Funk Matte and Mossy Rock Funk. So now we need to put them together in a material. So what I'm going to do is go back to my Mega scans, and I'm going to get my surfaces. Not surfaces, sorry, my assets that I bought in, and let me see. I believe it was my Icelandic rock assembly, wasn't it? Yep, there it is there. So there's our funk material. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a new material called our TP Seedsa, blended material. So materials and textures, and again, sorry about my block nose. TP Seedsa. I'm going to call it anything really, but I'm just going with the naming standard I got here. And this would be blend matte. Okay. Now, if I open this up, you're like, well, what do we do here? Well, this is kind of fairly easy, to be honest. It's not the hardest piece in the entire world. What we're going to do is, okay, we're going to go down here, and you see where it says use material attributes. I'll click that and everything vanishes. And then if I go a bit further down, you'll see we've got tessellation, and I'm going to change that to triangles, crack free. Okay, and now I can start putting things into this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use something called a matte layer blend. Simple. Okay, so matte layer blend simple. There it is there. And then I'm just going to run this across to here. Now at the bottom I've already got a function I can use, so I'll just quickly bring that in, and that's world aligned blend. Okay, so you just go world aligned blend, and there it is just there, okay. And then I've got 2 parameters, 10 and -1 fed into my blend sharpness and my blend bias. Okay, now I'm going to feed this into my alpha. Then I'm going to get my layer here, my material function, and I'm going to feed that into my base. And then all I need to do now is go back and get my surfaces, and I've got my mossy rock, and I should have my mossy rock function here. I'll pull that in. Oh, my nose. Now we'll just let the thing do its business, and you can see we've got moss on top of our rock now. Very lovely. So I'm going to click save. Okay, now if I go back now to my original piece of rock that I've got on this, so I'll just go to Megascans and 3D Assets, and I think it was, no, it wasn't that one. Which one was it again? Spires, moss clusters. Never mind. There it is. TP seeder. Okay. TDP seeder. Sorry. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this down because it's done its job. I'm going to close down all my references. Yeah, go on. And over here, I'm going to right click. I'm going to find my material. Now that's a function. That's my blended material there. Make sure it's saved. It's just compiling its shader. Oh, my schnoz. And right click, create a material instance. Okay. And I'm just going to keep it the way it is. It's got the word inst at the end. Now, why have we made an instance? Because instances, we can use multiple of them, okay, and they're not very expensive when it comes to functionality. Now, let's show you what it does. So, I'm going to bring up my TP seeder LOD1, which I haven't used in this scene at all, so that's why I chose it. Okay, and there it is. Now, I'm going to try and move it over here a bit so it's a bit smaller. And then I'm going to bring up my instanced blend material. So I'll just click that and just bring that over to there. Okay, now as you'll see, we've got lots of options now that we can use. So we've got displacement, displacement strength, how much, and its sharpness, that's for its coverage, and we've got its tessellation. Okay, so we've got lots and lots of good options here, so we're going to use those. So first things first, we need to change the material. So I'm going to apply this instance to here, and you'll see straight away we've got moss on top. Okay, and because we've enabled displacement, the moss is slightly displaced too. Now, what I can do here is I can adjust how much displacement's in the mesh. You know, putting flipping tons if I want, and then click save, and it should obviously feed over to the other one. I'm going to click save again. But also, what I can do is I can change how much tessellation there's on our model. Not tessellation, how much moss there is on our model, sorry. So you can see on our own material there, I can virtually wipe it out and look on our left. It's all gone. And on the right, start bringing it back. And you can make it entirely covered in moss, or not even remotely covered in moss, depending on how you feel. So I'm going to move it to about there. And we can also reduce its sharpness. So I'll just open up the sharpness there. Oops. It does affect my FPS, sadly, when I'm fiddling around with these. So there we go, as you see, I can kind of have it all blurred blending, or I can have it completely sharp blending. Okay? Plus, of course, we get to affect our actual tessellation, so how much detail we're putting onto it. So, if I just save these, there and there. And like I say, the good thing is I can make another copy of my blend material and not have as much or have no moss on it. And I can give myself variation using the same mesh over and over and over again. So I'll just bring that out to there. Up. And there you can see the actual mesh itself in all of its glory. All covered in moss. And I did do that to my island, just to point out a couple of the pitfalls here. But if you do this, be wary, because you're going to have to bake off your materials, and I'll show you how to do that later. Otherwise, the amount of FPS you're going to be using, the amount of performance loss you're going to be using is ridiculous. Okay, it's absolutely hideous. So do bear that in mind. Anyway, I hope you found that useful, and remember, Captain Blue is always here for you at CGPirates. So you look after yourself. You're the most important person, remember. And until next time, remember to drop by and say hello on our Discord, and ta-ta for now. Bye bye matey, YARR.